Yes. Our people, our after the honeymooners. Welcome to 2025 and welcome to fifth episode, yeah?
Yes, it's the fifth.
Yeah, episode number 5. We're after the honeymoon.
Yes, welcome, guys. I know it's been a minute. We haven't neglected you guys. We are here.
Yeah. It's corner. New year, new me vibes.
Yeah, ish.
Yes. Off to a good start, baby.
I think so. I think so, definitely. Some really good things have come out of 2025 so far, so I'm good. Looking forward to the rest of it. And yourself?
All good start. Feel good. It's all about the consistency of whatever it is that anyone has set out to accomplishing, achieving. It's not a bad thing. I don't think anyone should let anyone talk down on whatever their new me is, whether you are consistent or not. As long as you start, even if you fall off, it's always a seed that is planted into your mentality.
Yeah, I actually saw one of my friends, I think, post this week about what consistency is and what people think it looks like. And the top row is what people think consistency looks like, and it's glasses or like jars lined up, and they all have the same level of liquid in it. And then the bottom row is what consistency actually looks like. And it's the same jars, but they all have different levels of liquid in it. And I think it just basically explaining that as long as you get up every day and do something, that is consistency.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be at the same amount and at the same pace and at the same strength every day. But as long as you get up every day and you do something every day, that makes a difference. And that is consistency.
Big facts. It shouldn't be aligned with a third party. It's your consistency. It's your baby to raise.
Yeah, for sure. And our journeys are just not the same. I mean, I think we always say this in life. People say it a lot.
Excuse me.
That our journeys are just not the same. So don't expect how your success to come about will be the same for me or vice versa.
This leads us to our topic for today's episode. Our topics are always they always have a broad spectrum. Because we like to dissect and delve into the different dynamics, but there's always a starting point, right? So today we talk about, it's the top of the year, and as we've been talking, new year, new me vibes. Are you ready?
I'm ready. You even cleared your throat.
Yes. So today's topic is about goals. Is it important for you to share your personal goals with your personal person? I'm saying personal person, but
and some people don't have aspirations to get married either.
Yes, but they have personal people. So is it important to share your personal goals with your personal person? And obviously the pros and the cons of that, which is something we'll talk about in depth in our view. With starting with us, obviously. I mean, we share our personal goals with one another, as well as our family goals. I think we are not consistent in revisiting them at certain points, but we do talk about them continuously throughout the year. we don't sit down like every quarter and talk about them. But we do, like formally, but we do revisit them. Do you think it's something that we should look into? Like,
for sure. I mean, I
Yeah.
recently had a lunch with a friend, and she was telling me her and her husband actually go away top of the year every year and kind of have like almost like a conference
Yeah.
where they discuss their goals for the year and
Yeah.
stuff. And I thought it was
That's
such
dope.
an amazing idea.
yeah, that's very dope. With the two of them, no kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, the kids as well. It's
Okay.
time. I suppose it's also time for them to bond, but also time for them to kind of regroup and recap the previous year, I suppose, and also the next year to come.
Yeah.
And I thought it was an awesome thing.
And is it okay? Like, sorry. If, like, obviously, things are not always stagnant. Things change along the line.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that something that is okay for or open for discussion, etc.? Would you support that?
Yeah, for sure. I think ideally in my mind, a recap, like a general overall recap once a year, top of the year would be great. And then maybe a revisit in month 6, like around June, July, to see, hey, are we still aligning with our goals? Because like you said, things do change intentionally and unintentionally. So, because as we know, life is just the way that it is. Things happen sometimes, and so the goals you had at the top of the year might change because of circumstances, or some things might, you might have a change in your thinking about certain goals, because maybe you'll find that you started to go towards those goals, and then halfway there you realize, well, actually, I think I might want to do this a little bit differently. And so I think a recap mid-year is great, to say, hey, are we still aligned here? Or do we still agree on these goals? Or do we want to change a few things? I think that would be great.
That's, I think I feel as like for me sharing my personal goals with you outside of the obviously, excuse me, the personal goals do in a way affect the family goals. Do you agree?
100%, yeah.
Because just to see how far off your personal goals are from the family goals, and how can the family goals assist you in achieving your personal goals, or vice versa, and how can I assist you, support you in achieving your personal goals and your family goals. You've recently achieved a personal goal, right? That I saw so much of an immediate difference in your everything, your self-esteem, the way you just viewed things, and took you a while to achieve this, and you achieved it. How did that affect our family goals?
In a big way, in a very big way, because already I'm like foreseeing how I want to move differently in terms of achieving goals. The basis of the goals hasn't necessarily changed, but how I want to go about achieving them for myself and for us as a family unit is very, very different, or more, how can I put it, more out of the box. You see things a lot different when, certain things that you wanted to have in place finally go into place. The possibilities become more. So I think it changed it for the positive, and in the possibilities more than anything. It's the possibilities, and it really changes your mindset in terms of, you realize that, oh man, this was so hard, but I did it. And then it makes you realize that, hey, if I could do this, I'm sure I could do even more. and I'm sure I can reach even higher than this. You know, I think the moment I got it, automatically I was thinking, what's next? You know, and it's just it's just you know, it helps to motivate you. It helps to motivate me to achieve a personal goal, because you realize that you're not stagnant. You're not just moving in like one straight, simple line that is not really going anywhere. So yeah, I know it was a good change for me. Good change, I think. Obviously for us, like you said, your personal goals also affect the family goals. And I think we've obviously had some discussions, you know, about how this can change things or make things better. And that obviously doesn't just affect me, it affects the family as a whole. Yeah.
It was amazing to see, you know, it still feels good. I think it's always great to see your personal person overjoyed and accomplishing and winning. You know.
Thanks, love.
Do you think it's what is the importance from I mean, you supported me in a ton of things. I could go on and on. I'm not gonna say I won't speak for you, but I want to zone in back to how did that specific goal that you've just achieved, how did the family's support and how did your partner's support affect the seeing the going over the line of that?
In more ways than I can express, it affected it in a positive way. At times I even feel like I don't want to take away from my accomplishment, but truthfully, you know, at times I feel like I don't know if I could have gone past this finish line if it weren't for the support of you, you know. Even right down to the support of, you know, our nanny. You know, she's become a part of us, you know, she lives in with us, and just also the importance of having the right people around you, you know. She saw the importance of this for me, for us, and really stepped in when she needed to assist or to just help support, whether it was moral support or physically being there to support. She was there, and more importantly, as my partner, you supported me at times where I was just like, I'm giving up and I'm not about this anymore, and I just want to leave this because I'm tired, you know. And it was hard. You know, it was really hard. And so I really, really believe that support is so important, you know, because, and I think sometimes, particularly, unfortunately, if you are female, we find it hard to support our men sometimes in achieving things, because we feel like if I support him, then he's gonna up his game, he's gonna level up, and then he's gonna leave me. And then I'm gonna be here bitter because I've supported this man to go and live his best life with someone else. Not understanding that for the very fact that you didn't support him, and you are probably part of the problem while he was trying to level up, is the very reason why he will leave you once he levels up. You know, and yes, it's not always the case. You know, it's not always the case. Yes, you do get people who just are insert profanity and who decide that
it's a family show.
Yes, and who decide
sometimes
and who decide that, well, I'm nice now, and I deserve better, and they keep it moving and they leave you in the lurches. There are those occasions, but you know, sometimes I feel like it's not life when you're now living thinking of the worst case scenario of if I do this for this person, you know. Yes, we humans, we do want gratitude, we do want appreciation when it comes down to it, especially if you've spent so much energy and time supporting someone. But that shouldn't be the sole purpose of it, you know. And I know for me, you've supported me wholeheartedly. No agendas, nothing. You know, that, and I think it's also because you understand the bigger picture. You know, and it's same for me. You know, it's not easy when you are away for long periods of times, or, you know, late hours and whatever because of work. It's not easy. But I support it because I understand the bigger picture. You know, so to have a partner who understands and who you guys can communicate with, and that's why these goals are important to talk about, and aspirations, because your partner gets to understand what the goal is. You know, I think every time you've ever endeavored to do something, you always say, okay, babe, this is what I'm going to be doing now, and this is what it's going to take, and it's going to be maybe long hours. Sometimes I'm going to be away for this long, or some, you know, or I'm going to be home later, or whatever. I understand what's going on. And so I'm not left wondering, yeah, akakafika endlini, I wonder ukuthi kuphi kwenzakalani, you know, because realistically that would make one anxious. What the hell is going on? You know, I didn't know that this is what it would entail. But all the time, whenever you're gonna do something, you always say, hey babe, this is what I'm now going into, this is what it's gonna entail. And so by the time you're even starting, I'm already prepared mentally. Okay, this is what we're going into, and we're doing this together, and there's a bigger picture at hand. So the support and those goal conversations are very important. They go hand in hand, because I can't support something I don't understand also. Because some level of support is very difficult to give. We're humans, yeah. Like, there are times where you're away and I miss you and I'm like, this is hard. This is hard. But because I understand the bigger picture and I know what I'm supporting, it's, even though, yes, I still miss you, but it's not a negative miss you, you know? So yeah, the support goes hand in hand with those conversations.
Interesting. I mean, breakdown. The question was coming from, you know, as you know, like almost every conversation we have leads to healing.
100%.
Right?
100%.
So this now requires your partner to be in a certain mental space or mental capacity to be able to understand certain
emotional
things.
Intelligence.
Yes. So there's a lot of dynamics at play. Because whilst you're trying to accomplish something, you might not be able to play your part, you know, quote unquote. And how does that make one feel, you know? And it's also like dependent if it's a man or if it's a woman, because we take on things differently or setbacks differently. And, you know, then it comes to the background and etc. You know, I feel the one thing that is really crucial about goals that are set each and every year, whether it's weight loss or health or wealth or whatever it is, it comes with sacrifices, and those sacrifices you can't do alone.
Yeah.
If I am on a health journey, Mina, not Bo, Mina, it affects you.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you see that together. Are you gonna make a double cheeseburger for yourself, and then you're making
and then you're eating a kale salad.
A kale salad. Fine, that's all good and well, right? That can be done. But I feel like we're pulling in different directions, because obviously I'm gonna feel different. I'm gonna feel a different way in 6 months than what you would feel if we carried on the same in that trajectory. Kale, spinach, yogurts, water, double cheeseburger, sodas, mazimba, maswiti, or the junk. In 6 to 12 months, it's different. Like I feel good, more energetic. I want to do more things, and more activities. You want to bum and sit, and you see it's already affecting the quality of our relationship, which then affects obviously the family, because it's personal. It's my personal goals and it's your personal goals, so we are not aligning.
And even like, just to add, despite even the energy, feeling energized and all of that, and yes, it might be your goals and not mine, but there's just something I would feel very uncomfortable sitting there having a double cheeseburger while you're having a kale salad, because I'd be like nyam khalisela almost as well, and for me it would be like, this is inconsiderate though. Yes, I know it's not my goal, it's his or whatever, but like, it's just a bit inconsiderate, and it's just it's such opposite directions. Like, do we even align in like, it just sounds wrong. I don't know, it just sounds wrong. I can, even if it's mina, I'd rather compromise and sacrifice. I'll have your kale salad with you for dinner because I'm with you. Then maybe get out wherever and having lunch, I'll buy myself my double cheeseburger because but when I'm around you, I'm trying to be considerate that you're trying to live have a better lifestyle. So I'm not going to be eating a double cheeseburger in front of you while you're having a kale salad. It's inconsiderate of your partner, and it shows a lack of empathy, in my opinion. You showing a lack of empathy for your partner, which is, for me, personally, it's a red flag.
For me, personally.
Yes, for me, personally, it's a red flag, Shem.
Yes.
So yeah, goals are important there. Like, you don't have to deviate from what you want to eat. I don't have to deviate. But let's try and align it where we can compromise.
Yeah, for sure. I think it in the greater scheme of things, if we're on the same page, it's easier to execute. And it's your surroundings. It's home. You go to work. You've got, we're speaking obviously on the health journey. So now there's the financial journey, or a business, which takes a lot of time away from home, which is a tough one. Would that, like, how is that navigated? Because do you put a time frame to it? It's tricky, it can be tricky, dependent on the business. Do you put a time frame to it? Because you also have to, there has to be timelines.
For sure.
To things, and try to stick and adjust to them, because time is the most important commodity, and we don't have it for indefinite. And we still need to enjoy our lives together. So how do we navigate that?
Yeah, I mean, that's why the goals are so important. The goal setting and the goal discussions with your partner, because you could have started a business today, and that's taking up your energy. That's maybe taking financial resources from the household or whatever, Sis, we downscaling to try and support you in your business, and I'm for it, Then we're sitting 10 years from now having the same discussion. The company still hasn't lifted. We're still using household resources. We're still living below our comfort, or even less, and there's no end in sight, and there's no progression. Nothing has changed, and you're still like adamant, like, we want to do this, you know, and or you want to do this, you want to build this business, it's still going to be successful. We then have to go to the drawing board, and if I'm feeling like 10 years is way too much and nothing's happened, nothing's changed, this business is not going anywhere, I need to be honest and open, and you have to also be able to receive. And at that point also, you need to, realistically, you would need to, because at the end of the day, we're partners in this life thing. You need to convince me why we need to do this for another 5 to 10 years again. You know, what is going to change in the next year to 5 to 10 years?
Yes.
You know, what are you doing differently? What is making the company not lift off or not take off as it should or fail? You need to explain to me why I need to continue to sacrifice our quality time as a couple and as a family with our kids for another 10 years. In order for me to feel like I can continue to support this. You know, there has to be a point where we have to also be realistic and like, are these goals working for us?
Yes.
Or is there a way maybe we can reshape these goals or change the way we're going about them to maybe make it different or work it differently?
Yeah.
As much as we all have goals, yes, but like, we can't be doing the same goals for 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
While life is moving and we haven't progressed or in fact are moving back.
Yes, for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
And with the family goals, what would be the difference like with your personal goals, my personal goals, and our family goals? Would that be us now setting goals for our kids, our nanny, our household, our day-to-day? Because, you know, you are very much hands-on in how you would like especially with the kids, their day-to-day lives to be like, to have structure. Would that fall part of the family goals?
Yeah, it would have to. Like you were saying, your personal goals integrate with the family goals, you know. If I decide today that I want to quit my job to start a business, I need to have a plan of action of, if I'm quitting my job tomorrow, how are we covering my portion of the bills that I was paying with my salary? You know, what's the plan of action? Whether that means there's savings in place that is gonna, you know, keep us going for a few months, or are we downscaling? You know, are we getting rid of our nanny, letting her go, you know, and thinking, if we also let her go, that means all the childcare now comes back to me. Does that give me time to actually tend to the business that I'm supposed to be starting? You know, there's so many things that you have to discuss, so many questions in play when we put our personal goals to the table that affects the bigger scheme of the family. You know, if I no longer have the salary, am I expecting you to now fit the bill for everything?
Yeah.
And now that puts pressure on you to have to come in and figure out where that extra money is going to come from.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That can affect our kids able to go to now school or the same schools that we're going to. Do we now have to take them out and take them to a more affordable school or a less priced school? You know, there's so many things at play that affect the family dynamics when it comes to personal goals. So I don't even think it's necessarily a separate subject. Automatically, when you discuss personal goals, it has to then go into, what does this mean for our family and our kids? Or, you know, if you don't have kids, just for the two of you as a unit, what does it mean for the two of you? Where does that leave you and your goals? Or where does it leave me and my goals? What if I want to go to Europe and you don't want to go to Europe? You want to stay here, or you have a solid job here that you don't want to leave. What does it mean for us? What does it mean for our kids? You know, what are we doing? Yeah, you understand. So I think whether we like it or not, it's an intertwining conversation between personal goals, partner goals, and family goals.
Most definitely. Important to review, no? To review them. And would you say, like, if we didn't have goals, would we be where we are now? Like, if we didn't have goals that we have set for the unit, the unit being the family, and for... Actually, let me ask you, would it make sense, or would you see the unit being you and I, and then the family being you and I and the kids, and then personal goals being mine and yours? Will you see that? Is that something that you can't separate the family and the unit?
You can separate it. You can. It's possible to separate it. It's not that it's impossible. The problem then comes at this: once you separate your, I wouldn't say a problem, it's just something that you would have to then grapple with as a person, as a unit, that there might be times where your personal goals might clash with your partner's, or your personal goals might clash with the family unit's goals, or the plans that you'd now had with your kids, And I think we've had those occasions where sometimes you're like, okay, our goals are changing, or this is now happening, and now it means that now this needs to change, or this somehow needs to, and we don't always have the answers right then and there. It's kind of like, okay, if you're doing this, it's fine, do it. Let's see how it goes, and if we get there, we will figure out how to rearrange this or whatever. And that's also, obviously, if you have a partner that's understanding and compromising and willing to hear you out. But yes, there are, I'm sure, times where there are personal goals that are really way out of the way of the family. And that's up to you as a person to decide whether you're going with this personal goal no matter what anyone says, or are you reshaping it in a way that you are, even if it deviates a bit, you're still able to integrate it somehow with the family.
I think it's even when it's like deviating, it still needs to be a open communication.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't subscribe to something that I don't know about. It's very crucial to consult one another back and forth on a daily.
Yeah.
And any type of movement, especially when lives are intertwined like ours are, integrated.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, support and communication goes very much hand in hand. I can't support something that hasn't been shared with me, or that I don't fully understand. You just can't come up to me tomorrow and say, hey, so I'm going to be in London for 3 months. Cheers. What do you mean you're going to be in London for 3 months? Doing what? I'm after 3 months. I will put no. Then I must stay here and support and just believe that my husband is doing the best that he can out there in London while I'm here. I want to understand, why do you need to go to London? What is it you're doing there? What is the goal that you're trying to achieve there? And what is the outcome that you're looking for out of being in London for 3 months? And how is that serving you, and how is that going to help us as a family as well? Because we can't just also be doing things that mean nothing. We're too grown to be doing things for the sake of doing things. When are you deciding what you're gonna? Otherwise, I don't know, in a midlife crisis, when decide you're just gonna go to London for 3 months. We can't be doing that. Whatever it is you're doing, no matter how outlandish it may seem, there has to be some benefits, of course, to you, as the person doing them, but also there has to be, even if it's 1% of a benefit for the family as a unit. We can't just be doing things for the sake of doing things.
Yep.
Otherwise, like Sinzani, Hambos Pilela Wetwage. don't have kids, don't have a partner. Philele wethu uzenzele into oyithandayo by yourself. Like siyaphilisana. So we can't be doing things that are pulling in opposite directions or that is disadvantaging the other person in any which way or form, you know? Is there anything that you think might be like a con of sharing goals? I'll tell you one. I think sometimes when you express certain goals or ambitions with people, not even just your partner, with people in general, people hold you to that. You know, if I say next year June ngifuna ukube sengiqedile nge-masters, and for whatever reason I don't, you know, people are holding you to how uthe wena nje ufuna ukwenza i-masters next year. What if I got to the end of the year and I felt, you know what, actually I'm tired of funda right now and I want to take a year's gap or take 2 years gap, or actually I don't need a master's anymore. I think I've studied enough, I'm good. And I decide I'm not doing it. You know, or it's not within my capabilities right now. My plate is full. I would have loved to do it, but my plate is full. Then the problem comes with people's expectations of, but you said you're gonna do this. Or sometimes people sometimes can use what you wanna do as a stepping stone for them, you know. And it's not always a bad thing. But especially in a family unit, it's not always a bad thing. But sometimes because that person banked on you doing something so much, when you happen to not be able to, when you come back in June and say, actually, you know what, I actually can't do this. And I don't think it's going to work for me this way, or let's try it a different way. Then now someone's mad at you. Or now sekumuncu because uthe wena uzokwenza ukuthi, you know. And it's like, but I'm not able to right now. Like, let's shift our goals, let's change, let's make a different plan, or let's move the goalpost a little bit further, you know. Maybe let's do it next year, or give me 2 years, you know. But I do find that sometimes when you share certain goals or aspirations with people, then for more than one reasons at times you get held to that, and then now it makes it, and it's non-progressive for you as a person, also for your personal goals, because bengithe kusibani ngizokwenza ukuthi sekufanele manje ngiwenze, you know. And now you can't shift around, and sometimes uthola ukuthi the shift that you were going to make was actually going to be more beneficial or move in a more positive way. But because mina bengithela staying ngizokwenza masters, they're expecting me ukuthi this year ngiyayenza, you know, or by next year June ngiyayiqeda le masters. And now you're unable to evolve as a person because you're being held to what you said in January when we had our goals meeting, and now in June I'm saying, actually, I'd like to change this a bit, or I'd like to change the way I'm approaching it, and it's not received.
I wanted to, sorry, I didn't want to cut in. I wanted you to finish, but also didn't want to lose the element of what it is that you're touching on. My view, though, always becomes when it involves people.
Yeah.
You know, even your person that you trust with your life. You tell me something, I'm going to hold you to it. But we have an understanding. I have a better understanding because I'm now day in, day out. So I would know what would have led you to the conclusion of, I don't want to do this right now, whatever it is, or I want to shift. Example, you're top of the year. I'll use a typical example. You announce on, or you tell your friends, right? And they're like, oh, cool, that's dope. And then in March, you have a drink.
Yeah.
And then you are grinded. Azange ukuthi wena usaphuza.
Yo.
Manje soyaphuza. Hlulekile, you failed. No,
Bruh,
right?
and those are and people think they're joking and they're actually pulling you down.
Yes,
they're
yes,
grating your character when they're doing that.
You know, hlulekile, lo hlala uye kutshwala, no. Like I said, that is you planting a seed.
Yeah.
You know, it will come, like you have planted that seed in your head. It needs to be watered. You know, it doesn't grow overnight. So there will come a time where you go 6 months without drinking.
Yeah.
Then it's a year. And then it's 2. And then it's 5.
And before you know it was up using.
Precisely. But now even if you do, you know, also like, what if someone says they don't drink? Must I break down what I don't drink? When?
Yes.
What if I do not drink, but I'll have a glass 4 times a year, celebrating something, or an anniversary or birthday or whatever it is. So, am I a drinker? So there's just cons anytime when it involves people.
Yeah.
There will be cons, because remember, people have so many things in their own lives that they want to project into your life.
100%.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Phuza, that's fine.
And a lot of the times, sometimes people take your goals as like a jab at them.
Of course.
Like,
it's like,
it has nothing to do with
precisely. Hey, this is the reason why you shouldn't have told anyone.
Yeah.
Just carry on, carry on. Lead your own journey. You don't have to let anyone in any way, shape, or form. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're letting your personal person in. But it goes back to what I was saying earlier on. It's coming back to healing now. Can your personal person handle these adjustments psychologically?
Yeah.
It's big adjustments. It's going to, some of these adjustments affect entire lifestyle. Yeah. Maybe you and I, we would go for burgers every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? For example, let's talk to health, right? We'd go for burgers every Wednesday, and then we'd go for pizzas on Sundays, whatever it is. And now, my personal goal doesn't allow me to indulge in that type of food that frequently.
Yes.
So that changes something that we both enjoyed twice a week. Not to say we cannot go. We can still do it. It's just I won't be eating or indulging in this.
Yeah.
Right? Over time, it's going to rub off you.
Yeah.
Could either be left or could be right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's going to rub off you either way.
Yeah, it will, 100%.
So and over time, it builds a bit of a gap, a small crack, which can then become
bigger and bigger over time. Yeah.
And that is how you end up. After 5 years, we can't relate.
Yeah.
We can't relate in certain things, because the decision I would have made comes with a lot of mental commitment. So that automatically trains me to be mentally committed into certain things. And now you telling me something, I'm going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And then you decide, you still willy-nilly change. And then I'm hard on you.
Yes.
Because now I've built a mentality of commitment. Then I'm like, yeah, but you said you're going to do this and this and this.
Yeah. And then you're like, you're a flake out.
Yes.
Or,
whatever
you don't keep to your commitments.
So am I, as a partner, psychologically, am I able to deal with all of those dynamics? Because it's almost subconscious. It's not intentional, but it's in my subconscious. I gotta finish these reps. It has to be 10 push-ups. It has to be 10 push-ups, you know? It has to be 8 hours of sleep. It has to be 8 glasses of water a day, you know? And after a year, if you as my partner are going to come to me and you're going to, hey, babe, you know, I want to go to the children's home. Excuse our daughter. I want to go to the children's home once a week to spend 30 minutes doing something. That's my CSI. And then you do it for a month. And then you go once a month for 3 months. And then you go once every 2 months for the rest of the year. But every time, I'm like, but you are playing with people's emotions. There's kids there. There's this. Because of my subconscious training. You know, so these are the cons of. I'm talking about if it involves someone, even if it's one person, it comes to a point where that person always like, even if they don't say anything, maybe 6 months later you're like, I'm fine. I feel like I don't have energy, and your friends are gonna hold you accountable because they're gonna go, I'm gonna tell you as a pussy. Obviously, the delivery is crucial, but it comes back to that understanding one another, etc. You know, because also we cannot not hold each other accountable.
I was just about to say that holding each other accountable and being judgmental also there's a very thin line.
Yes.
There's a very, very thin line there, because I do want you to, if I say I want to go to gym 5 times a week, and after 2 weeks I start saying like 3, then saying like 1, then I skip a week, and you know, I want you to come to me and say, hey babe, I noticed that you're not going as often to gym as you said you were going to go. Is there something wrong? Is there matter? What's the matter? Do you need more motivation? What's going on? That, and how I show when you go to mean 5 times a week. Every day I will moving or 5 anymore. You know, do you understand? Do you see the difference in that? Very clearly, one is holding someone accountable. The other one is judgmental. You know, there's a very, very clear line there. You know, so
hey, about
yeah, understand. Konaba zoye Jimmy 5 times a week. Kodwa bayalala.
Ngoba seku September kuyiwa kangaki.
You understand? That's not supportive, and that's not how I want to be held accountable. Sorry. That's just judgmental. That's straight up being judgmental.
The delivery counts.
100%. That's what it is, essentially. It's the delivery and the intention. Delivery and intention is what separates.
It sounds like you're celebrating.
You know. Yeah, understand.
Are you celebrating?
Yeah, understand. You know,
get off my roof.
You know, so the intention and the tone of delivery are 2 very important factors in separating holding someone accountable and being judgmental.
Yeah.
And so we also need to learn as human beings, Uguti, let's discern between is this speech being judgmental, or am I just trying to assist this person in being accountable? You know, because they said they want to go to gym 5 times a week, and this was the reasons. Because also when you set these goals with your partner at the beginning of the year or halfway through the year, you say, look, these are my goals, and this is the reason why I have these goals. So when you see your partner slacking, you go back in a loving and an intentional way.
And you nudge them.
Yes, and you nudge them, say, hey, I remember you said you wanted to go to gym 5 days a week. And I can see it's not really happening. You know, are you struggling with keeping up with it? You know, is there an issue? What's the problem?
What's happening?
What's happening?
Not it's Jimmy.
With the side eye.
Manje Jimmy. Yenzani? Now you become defensive. Yenzani Chim?
You understand?
Abengibuza nje.
You understand?
Injani yona
Abanye
manje?
bakhokhela i-membership ejimini kodwa bayi. You know, so
usayazi kodwa ijim injani phakathi.
You understand? Hi guys, no.
Yazi ukuthi barevempile kwai. Uzowazelaphi?
Bruh.
Vele uzowazelaphi awuyi.
Yeah, guys. I know, guys, no. Let's be intentional. Then we wonder why our partners are bitter and they are sour with us, or they have headaches every night. It's because you were jabbing her in the morning.
Headaches every night.
Or jabbing him in the morning. You know, like let's be kind to one another.
Yes.
You know, so don't, like, when we share our goals and ambitions, don't use it as ammo against your person. Even if it's not your person, your family members, your friends. Let's be kind. Let's be intentional when we communicate things. When we see this person said they wanted to do this, and I know they had good reasons to say they wanted to do that, and I can see they're not doing it. Let me try and, revisit them or nudge them a bit to say, hey, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it strong.
Yeah.
In a loving and caring way.
I'd like to emphasize on something you said. And I think I would like it to be my closing
comment. No?
My closing comment. Let's be kind to one another and let us not litter. Those are the two comments I'd like to, let us please be kind to one another and let us not what, love?
Litter.
Please. So what is our next, this was amazing.
It was.
Our next topic for our next episode. We
I
always
don't know. I think let the guys tell us. Leave your comments, guys.
No, definitely.
On the video, and tell us what you would like our next topic to be.
We also need to put our topics forward.
Let me be honest, I don't have one. Let's speak about Valentine's.
You want to speak about Valentine's?
Let's speak about the expectations of around these kinds of holidays and special days. The Valentine's days, the birthdays, those kinds of things. Let's speak about the expectations that are in relationships surrounding those days between male and female, or male and male, female and female, if that's what you're doing. But I'd say let's speak about it.
That's your topic that you're putting forward.
Yes.
I would like to put forward the topic of the workplace. And when I say the workplace, I mean, wherever it is that you work, there's a hierarchy, Is it a hierarchy or hierarchy?
I think people pronounce it differently. You're not wrong.
All right, cool. There's a hierarchy. And how does that affect your day-to-day operation? Because I've got a lot that I'd like us to unpack regarding that. And I think a lot of us can engage one another on this, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're in corporate, or let's just say if you're working with people, it is a topic that we can unpack. Yes, the workplace and its challenges.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say sometimes, depending on how the work environment is, they bring that home.
Yes.
Or bring that around their friends or family. So,
everything, like, ever since we started the after the honeymoon, I just realized that everything we speak about, I know I keep saying this, but it all boils down to individual healing.
100%.
Because you can go through, you go to work every day, my love. I go to work every day, and we speak about our, ikikaba that we come across. But it's so smooth to get home. Like, it's so soothing, and And we don't. I've never felt your work frustrations.
And vice versa, yeah.
It goes back, but we've done so much healing. We do continuous healing and intentional looking into,
The operative word that you said there is intentional. Everything has to be intentional, because it's actually easy to be toxic.
Yes, I think there's
healing is hard.
I think I definitely think I've still got traits of it that I might not even be.
Yeah.
That I might not be privy to.
Yeah, being angry and bitter and all that, it's easy. It's very easy. We can all wake up and say, as in life is hard, I'll do whatever the hell I want to do and treat people anyhow. It's easy to do that. It's a lot harder to have self-restraint and self-awareness and be intentional with how you show up to people and the world.
Yeah. Closing comments?
It's been nice. And I'm looking forward to the next one. And please do leave your comments, guys, on any topics that you guys would like us to address.
Yes, please. Like, subscribe, share to your community and your world. We are building our platform one subscriber at a time. We appreciate each and every person that gives us an ear and shares with the next person. We're just two humans that are building together, life together, and we're just sharing our honest and open views. All these views are ours. And please be nice and do not litter. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Listening to After the Honeymoon. Until next time. Cheerio. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.